Good morning. Welcome back to The Grey Cricketer, brought to you by ACO, India's leading digital insurance company. England all out for 290, India 43, 4 no loss. What's that, 66 behind? Something like that? Something in that
50
sort of
something.
50 something. Okay, I can't do maths. My name is Ian Higgins. Sam Perry is he over there. Morning to you, Pez.
Hey, morning to you as well.
What a day's play.
Still even for me. Still even. I think it was England's day, especially given how they started. But before we get into it, why don't you just open it up in the way that the viewers want you to open up?
Sure.
By putting whatever you want to put in grade terms.
Jarvo's the shittest bloke at the club. So good news in that regard. Let's just get it out of the way early. He's been arrested. He's the most useless, dumbest fucking idiot that's come onto a cricket field since... I don't know, so I'm just thinking of an Australian player. I don't know, someone stupid who's going for play for Australia.
Since that boomer who owns 3 properties walked onto the field in 3rd grade, saying I pay my rates.
And that reminds me, actually, so Jarvo's got 123 YouTube subs. That's more than us. Let's help TGC get past that fucking useless cunt. Click subscribe, send it a like, get around us, and we in turn circular motions around you. Let's get into the stuff though, Pez.
Yes, let's do it. So the first one I want to talk about here goes with the 3 things, is the Pope show. It had been a little while, just to set this up. Obviously, India took 2 quick wickets overnight. They removed Overton and Milan. Looking pretty good for India there.
They removed them.
They removed them.
Removalist system came in.
That's right.
Got the truck.
Got the little pincers. Psst, get out of here.
Pincers. Now we're crabs, are we?
There's another word I was going to use from delivering babies, but I won't because it's kind of a little bit... get the fontoos. Anyway, that's what it was. Yeah, those 2 guys were gone.
The fontoos.
And it brought it was Ollie Pope and Bairstow to the crease. But Ollie Pope, just for some background for Ollie Pope.
Give me some background.
He averages 100 at the Oval in first class cricket, so his average has gone down now. Yes. I learned that from Colo at the final word. But nice. He has made, in his last 11 digs in Test cricket, scores between 10 and 34.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
so
enough.
To come in and hit 81 in those circumstances with England, slight backs to the wall, was a really good effort. To put a little bit of a caveat on it,
of course.
Getting flat. It's getting flat at the
flat,
Oval. I'm going to talk about it. It is getting flat. The ball's coming on, and the tail wag. We'll get to that as well. But it had been a little while. I was happy to see some runs. I was happy to see some runs. Some early morning wickets, but the ball's starting to slide onto the bat. The blade in this series, he goes. The blade is like a kid, who's picked in the ensemble in a musical.
I was going to say that,
mum and dad had come to see them. It's like, you ain't got a main part in the first act. It's in there singing. It's like, okay, I can see them singing, but I can't really hear them.
Yeah.
The ball had the main part.
Okay, yeah.
Come the act 2, though.
Yeah.
And the blade's not happy.
No.
The blade's pissed off, and the blade's got a main part, and we can hear him. And here we go. I reckon the next couple of days, the blade is going to be the main figure in this musical.
And in this analogy, Ashwin has a role in the play, but he's just a tree.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a speaking part.
Yeah.
He's a mute.
That's right. And the light's not working to actually go on the tree. You can't even see it. So it's just a silhouette of a tree.
Did you see me, Dad? It's just a silhouette of a tree. Lots of chat about Ollie Pope moving back to middle stump guard from off stump.
Didn't the old blokes love it?
Because in county cricket, Darren Stevens is just giving a bit of a wobble, bowling 65 miles an hour wherever he bowls. He's a good player.
He goes at 17 and 17 runs per wicket, and he's about 87 years old. Yeah. So what does that say?
Well, he played fours here. I thought, first of all, Yadav is boys. Great start from Yadav with the pill. Overton, then good seed to AC Milan. Lots of guys nicking off on the back foot in this game so far of the 20 wickets
not making the most of run scoring opportunities.
That's right. That's right. Then I thought the Lord and Siraj when they came on were.
Pump.
The way they bowled makes me think that Ashwin must be a terrible bloke. Because Shadul, in particular, was like, these are throwdowns. Look, we've seen what he's done before in this series and also in Australia. He's going to be a good test player, I think, if he gets enough games. But the way he came on, I think actually, to be fair to them, Siraj and Lord were trying to get both Bairstow and Pope LBW. I think they were both trying to find attacking lines, and they just got their lengths wrong a little bit and just became some genuine rank half volleys. Because a lot of the runs were down the ground. There was a couple of sort of witty cover drives played, but for the most part, they were runs down the ground. So you can tell that they were attacking lines at the stumps. They were trying to get him LB, and Bairstow's gone the opposite way. He's moved across to off stump because he was getting bowled all the time, and then he ends up getting LBW as well. But I think that they were just there was that period in there with 2 overs and they had 7 boundaries in 2 overs, and it was like, this is a whole new ball game all of a sudden.
Every bowler until this point in the series had looked like Richard fucking Hadley. You know, and all of a sudden the deck offers a little bit of assistance to the batters, and the margin for error minimises. And Shardul and Siraj exposed, and the batters good on him. You know, playing some proactive cricket, got England ahead. You know, from 55 for 5, you're taking that lead, and then it starts to feel, because of the wicket, it starts to feel like it could be unders.
Do you want to go into the second thing?
Yeah, second thing. So I had here the Woakes Show. It's the lower order show for England. So I just wanted to praise Chris Woakes again to come back. It's the same with Ollie Pope as well. Should say, like, there's been a lot of consternation about guys who don't play any cricket leading into Test cricket. Well, neither of those guys played for 80 years. Heading into this game, they've been the strongest guys for England. Exactly, that's right.
It's incredible.
And since then, they've won 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup. But
Woakes could actually be like a captain from like the First World War. He's got the faces for like a captain, like blow the whistle, get those blokes over the trenches.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that.
He's a coward, is what I'm saying. Not to be confused with Mike Coward.
Is he sending the Aussies over the hill at Gallipoli?
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
You fucking bastard.
You bastard. The strategic error at Gallipoli. We forged our nation's false identity on that. Respect to the diggers, obviously.
Respect.
As Langer would say about Tim Payne.
That's right.
Well,
Australia has to go.
Respect.
Australia has to go to Gallipoli before they play the Ashes. Otherwise, there's no context for the series.
I think the Aussie players should play with flags around their necks.
Mate, I would like to see the next debutant for Australia, instead of calling for his baggy green when he's on 99.
Call for a digger's hat. Call for...
Boys!
And a whistle.
Yeah.
Fuck, you'd be in Langer's group then, wouldn't you?
Mate, I tell you what. Call for the Aussie flag to drape around your shoulders.
Jonathan Liu wrote this morning, he goes that it had been a while since England had made some lower order runs. A real long time, but it wagged. It
wagged the tail. Mate, lower order runs so important. We even saw the Lord in the first innings, how he got the score from 120 to 190. Lower order runs in England are so crucial. And then that's one of England's superpowers in this Test series at the moment. Their lower order goes all the way down to 10. And Moeen Ali scored some runs as well. That was a weird one where he got fucking smashed on the boot from Bumrah and no one appealed. And the weird thing about that for me wasn't that no one appealed so much, because watching that live, it was like, he just blocked it out. The weird thing was that Moeen Ali had the strength of mind to not show any pain that he'd just been hit on the full by a Bumrah Yorker. Because if he like jumped up there, then someone would have reviewed that straight away. The difference was only... I think it was 180 something when that happened, and he got out at about 220. So, like, in the context of the game, 40 runs, I suppose quite a lot. I think Moeen was like 15 at the time. He got about 30. So, but it was just weird how, like, then Woakes would have come a little bit earlier. Does Woakes do what he did? I'm not sure. But it was just a weird thing where it was absolutely fucking salmon and no one appealed.
I think everybody can agree in a bipartisan fashion that Moeen Ali does have reserves of strength that we probably don't even understand. He's just got levels.
He's got levels.
Moeen Ali is like the sort of guy, you feel like he would just say one or two things to you, go, you're so right, Moeen.
Yeah.
Isn't it great to see him in full flight?
Yeah,
I just love seeing Moeen Ali on my TV. It makes me feel safe. He makes me feel happy.
There's an interesting one with him. I remember talking during the opposing series over there in India where, like, if he had pursued his bowling as a junior more, he probably would have played like 130 tests by now. But instead, he's just this amazing batsman who can open the batting, he can bat 7, he can roll out some amazing offies. He feels underutilised in the system because they probably got, because of Stokes, because of Woakes, they've kind of already got the all-rounder bit wrapped up.
He's a very modern cricketer. I mean, England changed their whole philosophy towards cricket 5 or 6 years ago, didn't they, where they were trying to create guys for all 3 formats. They've managed to find heaps of cricketers who can do that. Moeen's one of them. They just seem to have like 5 or 6 utility players who come in from 6 down who can do a little bit of both, but, you know, it's a bit jack of all trades. Still a great cricketer who enjoy. I don't think I've ever told you this. I went to the UK in 2014 and watched a charity match with a mate of mine in Birmingham, Nolan Dorridge. And Moeen was bowling in it, and he was known, like he was an international at that point.
Yeah.
And he bowled his first ball in the charity match, where there's like a few, you know, conventions around how you play.
Of course.
And someone just deposited him into the over mid wicket,
Yeah.
and people on the sideline were a little bit like ooh, you can't do that.
Well, it wasn't Dinesh Carter who did that.
Yeah. Sorry, he was out.
He was already in the sheds.
He was already out. So moving, are we happy with the lower order runs there? I just think Chris Roke, I think I was incredible. 4 for 55 and 50 odd.
Mate, he's probably already man of the match.
Yeah.
Unless Dakota does something
I think it's a bit
amazing.
to go.
But I thought England's 290 unders. unders for me. I think that's still high.
Is it greedy though? From 50 for 5, you're like, we could have done more. I want more.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think Root's not scored 100 in the best wicket of the series so far. I think that's that. I mean, he got an absolute jaffer from Boys.
Yeah, from Boys.
From Boys, just called Boys. Yeah, he's just so Boys. He's just so Boys.
Fuck, he's Boys.
Yeah, get some chips. Yeah, Boys. Absolute Boys. Just stop saying Boys now, eh?
Yeah.
I thought 290 just looks unders to me, and I think India have done so with the hang in, and they're hanging in, and day 3 is fucking poised.
Poised and boys.
Fucking poised.
The third one I got here is India start the climb. So
yeah,
it looks pretty flat. And there's runs there, and I've just got here, if India can't put it together tomorrow, they don't deserve shit. But let's flesh out that analysis. I mean,
gone with that.
They're 50 off behind. Mm-hmm. The first session, as usual, will be tough, but there'll be a little bit in the first hour, I suppose. As we saw actually this morning, he goes, they lost two wickets, and then they managed to put 60 odd on in the second hour. So it gets pretty easy to bat pretty quickly. If these guys can knock off this deficit, and then India's got the blade in their hands, they're the main character in the musical. It's time. It's time for some runs from the boys.
Well, if I was any of the team, I'd be asking Ashwin for some throwdowns in the morning. Really get the eye in.
His arm would be fresh.
He hasn't bowled the ball in weeks. Yeah. At the end of the day's play here, when I think it was Rohit who nicked that ball, and then Joe Burns' brother Rory didn't pick it up. That shit is the scariest shit alive. When there's a cricket ball coming near you and you don't know where it is. That shit is
the way his
terrifying.
face moved. Because sometimes guys go, I didn't pick it up, and you're sort of like, is that right? Or was it a lack of skill, and then maybe you didn't pick it up, and you could have arranged it so that you did pick it up. Whereas the way you saw Rory Burns' face move, you're like, he has not seen that. like it was coming right at him, and he's just like looking at his mate. He's like, what are you doing? You can't fake that.
You're right, Woakesy.
But the way that ball moved indicated if he does pick it up, he was a decent chance of gobbling that up like a turkey.
That's right.
Down his neck. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Ball goes.
I had a guy I played with called Turkey Balls. That's a separate thing. Well, mate, as we said yesterday, mate, tough catching conditions at the Oval. It's tough catching conditions. Exactly. Mate, you know that my favourite one is when you drop a catch in the sky. In the sky. What the fuck does that mean? When you drop a catch in the outfield, or someone drops a catch in the outfield, and then they've lost it in the sun. What they do is they have to exhibit that they've lost it in the sun. So they look up at the sun.
Keep looking at it.
Keep looking.
Blinding themselves further.
Just like red spots in front of your eyes.
That's how much we don't want to be wrong or take accountability for things in 2021.
I mean, Joe Root took a catch off Jadeja yesterday. That swung as well. I'm angry about it. I think
the point is, when anytime you make a mistake anywhere in life, it must be someone else's fault or some external factor. Yeah. That's the way you survive.
Yeah. Says
the way society fractures too.
That's right. I think, mate, tomorrow, I think KL Rahul holds the key for me.
Right.
I think he has been probably the best batter for India in this series so far. Maybe not a massive shout saying he's the only one who's got 100, but I think if he's the guy in the top 7 who can bat long. Anything like if we've learnt anything from Rohit Sharma's away career, and we haven't, it's that he will get out early tomorrow. And then I think that it's just I love these predictions that are going to be wrong. It's fine. Let me know. Oh, wrong. This hasn't aged well.
And then when we turn up the next day, if we're wrong, we'll just skip over that, and if we're right, we'll just sit in there,
clip that up,
around,
put that in socials.
So I know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I am the oracle. I think that if Rahane and Kohli are batting in the second half of the second session, I think there's a big chance that they can put a score on. So what I was saying, it's interesting because if India score 300 in this innings, that'll mean England need to chase 200. Can India bowl England out?
What do India need?
So can India bowl England out for 200 on a day 4, 3.5, 4 pitch? Probably yes. They can. They can do that. Is it likely? Probably very unlikely. But at the same time, if India score 450 in this innings, can England chase 350? Yeah, I think England probably just about can. So I think it's so evenly poised. Yeah. It's really exciting, this series and this game.
I think India will be looking for every single player to contribute runs.
Yeah.
Like as we saw from England, most of the runs are in the lower half of the order. Like most of the runs are cash in after tea runs. And
Mate.
I think for India, if those guys can actually see out the start of the day, they got a big chance of every single one of them contributing. It could be punts time. He likes a flat wicket as well.
I was going to say punt.
Lower order runs. It's a big day tomorrow for Moeen Ali because for the first time, the pitch is requiring a spinner to come on and to control proceedings, to hold the game back. I think the way Moeen goes tomorrow will inform a lot of thoughts around selection of and non-selection of Ashwin as well. But, you know, because what's being missed with people going, well, we need Ashwin. It's like, well, England hasn't gone with a pro spinner as well, with a first class.
They don't have one, though.
That's right. They don't have one like a that is true. Yeah. But they haven't developed one.
They haven't developed one.
You know, and they do have someone who could be a spinner in that situation. So,
Joe Root.
Exactly. Joe Root.
Joe
and Dom
Denley.
Bess. AskTGC, Higgins?
Yeah, please.
All for Acco?
It's all for Acco.
Everything we do is for Acco.
Yeah. Except some things.
Canon Mangalarthil. Hashtag AskTGC. Boys, your thoughts on ESPN Crick Info commentary team taking over your job? Here's an excerpt from their commentary on day 2. RJ has said, explain the day in grade terms. Oops, sorry, I forgot this isn't the Grade Cricketer podcast. And then Crick Info replied on their live score thing. You know that bloke who rocks up to the... So they just went for it. You know that bloke who rocks up to the club and you ask, what do you do, mate? And he says, a bit of an all-rounder, really. Well, they both came off for each team.
Mate, got to say, I feel pretty secure on my job. Reading that reply.
I mean, yeah.
That's good. Share the love.
It's not grade terms though, is it? Like actually, no. In grade cricket, no one turns up and goes a bit of an all rounder. Really, you must commit to one thing.
That's right.
I bat or I bowl, and if you can do the other one, then we find out throughout the year.
Yeah,
so.
I bat 3, I open the bowling, I do everything. Don't look it up on the internet. Don't check my stats. Just trust me. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Promise you. Promise you. Promise you.
Will you put some clothes on, please?
All right. See you tomorrow for day 3. In the meantime, we're listening to Certified Lover Boy. Cheers. See you tomorrow.